Hello guys, welcome to Philatistic, your very own philately guide. Today we are going to have yet another fun-filled episode where we are going to do time travel back in history. All of us must have learned this subject in the school. So, let's go back in those days and see if you can refresh any of those memories. When I was in school back in 1990s, we did not have so many resources available. But today when I discuss with my son, apart from textbook, there are hundreds of YouTube videos available where history has been simplified and explained. Also you have Wikipedia for your reference. So today it's altogether different kind of learning experience. In today's episode, we will learn about medieval age, period of transition and the modern age. So let's start our time machine. But before that, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You can also follow us on Facebook. Now let's try and understand what history is. The simple definition of history is study of past. Anything that has already happened in the past. This may include events, people, issues or problems. Herodotus, who was ancient Greek historian, is considered as father of history. Now let's go through timeline. It's basically divided into prehistory and history. Anything from 3 million to 3000 BC is considered as prehistory, and 3000 BC onwards is history. BC means before Christ and AD means Anno Domini, which is a Latin word and meaning is in the year of the Lord, referring to the birth of Jesus Christ. History is further divided into 4 ages. Ancient age, which is starting from 3000 BC, when writing was invented, up to 476 AD, when we saw fall of great Western Roman Empire. Then comes medieval age, which starts from 476 AD and goes up to 15th century, when we witnessed Renaissance and period of transition. Here we got transition from medieval age to modern age that lasted up to 18th century, when we started seeing revolutions. Finally comes contemporary age that we all are currently witnessing. So the pandemic that we all have survived will go as one of the major historic events in this age. Now we will focus on medieval age, period of transition and modern age. During medieval period, lot of things happened, primarily in Europe. There was war that lasted for almost 100 years, and it was fought between English house and French house over the right to rule the Kingdom of France. Here are couple of postage stamps. He is Joan de Vian. Please pardon my French pronunciation. He was Knight, General and Admiral of France. She is Joan of Arc, also known as Maid of Orleans. She played heroic role in this war. There were other series of large-scale crises. Those hit Europe very hard. First one was Great Famine, which started with bad weather in spring of 1315. There were crop failures for next 3 to 4 years. Then there were cattle diseases that caused sheep and cattle numbers go down by almost 80%. There were crimes, diseases and deaths all over Europe. Then came Black Death, which was most fatal pandemic in human history. Yes, it's not the pandemic that we all have witnessed. This disease, bubonic plague, was caused by bacterium and Y pestis. We don't have exact numbers, but Black Death resulted in deaths of up to 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia and North Africa, peaking in Europe from 1347 to 1351. It wiped out almost 30 to 60% of entire Europe's population. These were certainly dark times of human history. Now we will see how we came out of this dark period. We should really be thankful to great thinkers and polymaths of Renaissance and explorers who set course with their voyages, discovered different places across the world. We also witnessed industrialization and different inventions during this period. Welcome to period of transition. Literal meaning of Renaissance is rebirth. It was cultural movement that aimed to revive classical glory, learning and culture of ancient Greece and Rome. The intellectual basis of the Renaissance was its version of humanism, derived from the concept of Roman humanitas and rediscovery of classical Greek philosophy, such as that of Protagoras, who said that man is the measure of all things. This new thinking became manifest in art, architecture, politics, science, and literature. Renaissance thinkers were rationalists. Here you can see Hungarian postage stamp showing Michelangelo. This is Indian stamp showing one of the painting from Michelangelo, the creation of Adam, which is basically mural painting that now form part of Sistine Chapel's ceiling. This was painted somewhere between 1508 to 1512. It illustrates the biblical creation narrative from the book of Genesis, in which God gives life to Adam, the first man. Here is another stamp from India having Nicholas Copernicus, who was great mathematician and astronomer. He is the genius who formulated a model of the universe that placed the sun rather than earth at the center of the universe. Here you can see couple of stamps from England and Hungary showing William Shakespeare, who was also known as England's national poet. Plays like Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, Hamlet, Julius Caesar were written by Shakespeare and are very famous. Here you can see postage stamp from Romania showing Leonardo da Vinci, who was Italian polymath. In these stamps you can see his famous painting Mona Lisa. Now let's understand different voyages of discovery. Today, if you want to go to some place, you will just open maps, enter destination, then follow directions and reach to your destination. Today our life is so easy because these sailors took different challenges and discovered unknown territories. Here is Portuguese stamp showing Vasco da Gama, who reached India via Cape of Good Hope in 1498. This opened sea route to India and other Asian countries and helped many European countries to expand their trade. Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1506. Ferdinand Magellan, who was Portuguese explorer and very ambitious, who set course for first circumnavigation of Earth, which was eventually completed by Juan Sebastian Elcano after Magellan's death in Philippines. Voyage consisted of 5 ships with 270 men. Ship Trinidad was under Magellan. Other ships were San Antonio, Concepcion, Santiago, and Victoria. Here you can see that they started from Spain on 28 September 1519, crossing South Atlantic Ocean and then passing by coasts of Brazil and Argentina, then crossing Chile by entering strait to what would be known as Strait of Magellan. Then entering South Pacific Ocean, they crossed French Polynesian Island, one we can relate to Puka Puka, then passing Guam and finally reaching one of Philippines Island. There they met Raja Humabon, who later guided them to Cebu. Raja Humabon was baptized as Don Carlos. On 27th April 1521, Magellan was killed in the Battle of Mactan. After this, only two ships were remained, Victoria and Trinidad. Elcano became captain of Victoria. Then they had to keep Trinidad ship at one of the Indonesian islands for repairs. Last survivor ship, Victoria, sailed through Indian Ocean heading towards west. Victoria passed the Cape of Good Hope on 22nd May 1522, finally reaching back home in Spain on 8 September 1522, technically completing the circumnavigation of Earth. Here you can see postage stamps from Australia, New Zealand and Cook Island. Captain Cook reached the southern coast of New South Wales in 1770 and sailed north, charting Australia's eastern coastline and claiming the land for Great Britain on 22nd August 1770. The Cook Island is self-governing island country in the South Pacific Ocean in free association with New Zealand. In 18th century, we also witnessed Industrial Revolution. Textiles were the dominant industry of the Industrial Revolution in terms of employment, value of output and capital invested. The textile industry was also the first to use modern production methods. Sir Richard Arkwright was an English inventor and a leading entrepreneur during the early Industrial Revolution. He is credited as the driving force behind the development of the spinning frame known as the water frame after it was adapted to use water power, and a rotary carding engine to convert raw cotton to cotton lap prior to spinning. He was the first to develop factories housing both merchandise carding and spinning operations. George Stephenson was an English civil engineer and mechanical engineer renowned as the father of railways. Pioneered by Stephenson, rail transport was one of the most important technological inventions of the 19th century and a key component of the Industrial Revolution. Locomotion number 1, originally named as Active, is an early steam locomotive that was built in 1825 by the pioneering railway engineers George and Robert Stephenson. James Watt was a Scottish inventor, mechanical engineer and chemist who improved on Thomas Newcomen's 1712 steam engine with his Watt steam engine in 1776, which was fundamental to the changes brought by Industrial Revolution in both his native Great Britain and the rest of the world. Here you can see postage stamp of Orient Express. The Orient Express was long distance passenger train service created in 1883. The route and rolling stock of the Orient Express changed many times. The two cities most prominently associated with the Orient Express are Paris and Istanbul, the original endpoints of the timetabled service. The Orient Express was a showcase of luxury and comfort at a time when traveling was still rough and dangerous. In late 18th and early 19th century, we witnessed revolutions in America and Europe. The American Revolutionary War, which is also known as the American War of Independence, was fought between 1775 to 1783. This was initiated by 13 colonies against the Kingdom of Great Britain over what they deemed as excessive taxation and the absence of colonial representation in Parliament, ultimately resulting in overthrow of British rule and establishment of the United States of America. You can see this postage stamp on Boston Tea Party, which was considered as one of the key events in 1773 when tax was imposed on imported tea. On 4th July 1776, there was Declaration of Independence by Thomas Jefferson. There were different battles for War of Independence led by George Washington. The Treaty of Paris was signed by King George III of Great Britain and representatives of the United States of America on September 3, 1783, that officially ended the American Revolutionary War. George Washington served as first president of United States of America from 1789 to 1797. Here you can see postage stamps on famous personalities of United States of America. George Washington was first president of USA and led different battles for War of Independence. Thomas Jefferson is also considered as founding father, who served as second vice president and third president of USA. Martha Washington was wife of George Washington, who served as inaugural First Lady of United States of America, although the title was not given until her death. Benjamin Franklin was American polymath. The company Franklin Templeton Investments was founded in 1947 in New York by Rupert H. Johnson Sr., who ran successful retail brokerage firm from an office on Wall Street. He named the company for American polymath Benjamin Franklin. It is listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol BEN in honor of Benjamin Franklin. John Adams was an American statesman, attorney, diplomat, writer, and founding father who served as second president of the United States of America. Abraham Lincoln was an American statesman and lawyer who served as 16th president of the United States. Lincoln led nation through its greatest moral, constitutional, and political crisis in the American Civil War. Franklin Roosevelt, often referred to by his initials FDR, was an American politician who served as 32nd President of the United States from 1933 until his death in 1945. John F. Kennedy, often referred as JFK, was an American politician who served as 35th President of United States from January 1961 until his assassination in November 1963. So guys, that's it for today's episode. I would leave you with this wonderful quote. I hope you have enjoyed this fun-filled history class. In the next episode, we will learn about British Raj, how traders were turned into rulers in India. So stay tuned for that. Do like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Until we meet again, please do take good care of yourself and keep collecting. Thank you.